Hello students, today we are discussing Go Math Module 13 Lesson 4 area of polygons. Our essential question for today is how can you find the area of a polygon by breaking it up into simpler shapes. So previously in 13.3 we had discussed how to find answers to equations, and then before that we did area of triangles, area of rhombuses, trapezoids, and parallelograms. So we're going to put that all together today and work with polygons. Here is our first example. We have a polygon here. And notice that in this polygon, we could actually break it up into two shapes. So if I draw my little dashed line here, you can see that I have now made a triangle sitting on top of a parallelogram. So I'm going to label that this is a parallelogram. And up here, I have a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to break up these two shapes, and first I'm going to start by finding the area of my parallelogram. So I'm going to do that right under here. To find my area of a parallelogram, my formula is area equals base times height. So I'm just going to start substituting in right away. A equals my base, which is 16, times my height, which is 7. When I multiply it out, 16 times 7 gives me an area of 112, and my label is centimeters, so I'm going to put cm and put my exponent 2. That is squared. So my final answer is 112 centimeters squared. And so I found the area of the parallelogram. But what I haven't done yet is find the area of the triangle. And I'm breaking this up into two separate shapes so that when I'm finished with both math problems, I just add them together and then I can find the area of the entire polygon. So check this out. My base down here at the bottom was 16. Now I don't know yet what the base of my triangle is, my red dashed line. But I can see that the rest of it on the triangle here, I'm underlining it in blue, shows 8 centimeters. So I'm going to take my entire base, which was 16. I'm going to subtract that 8 and to see what I am left with. And so I'm left with 8 centimeters. So that 8 centimeters is the base of my triangle. Now, same thing here on the left-hand side. I'm going to highlight this in blue also. That entire length is 13 centimeters. Now, I'm going to do that same thing. I can see that 7 centimeters was already used in my parallelogram. So I'm going to take 13 minus 7 to find the height of my triangle. And 13 minus 7 gives me 6 centimeters. So if I broke up just that triangle, I would have a base of 8 centimeters and a height of 6 centimeters. Now we can proceed with our normal formula, area equals 1/2 base times height, to solve area of a triangle. Let's go ahead and substitute in our values. I'm going to cut my 8 in half. Half of 8 gives me 4. Bring down my 6. Oops. Final answer, A equals 24. My label is centimeters, and square it. So far I have found my two areas, 112 and 24. My final step is I need to, whoa, that was a lot of highlight. My final step is that I need to add these two values together to find the area of my entire polygon. So I'm going to take 112 plus 24 and get a final answer of 136 centimeters squared. And this is the area of the entire polygon. So that would be my final answer for this problem. Let's try another. This problem, I have another parallelogram and I have a triangle sitting on top. Let's go ahead and break up our problem. First, I'm going to deal with my parallelogram. I know my area is base times height, and now I can substitute in my values. Area equals my base, which was 4, and my height, which was 5. So 4 times 5 gives me an area of 20 inches squared. So I've solved for my parallelogram. Now I need to work with my triangle, but something is missing. I don't have a value here for the base of my triangle, but I can absolutely solve that. Because I have a parallelogram, the base was 4 inches here, so I'm going to take that 4 inches and I can use it as the base of my triangle. We have the same length there with this parallelogram. So now just dealing with that triangle, I'm going to do my triangle values in blue. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. Now substituting in 1/2 times my base, which was 4, and my height, which was 6. Solving, I can take half of 4, which gives me 2 times 6. Final answer, 12 inches squared. So that was for my triangle. So first I solved parallelogram, then I solved triangle. Now I'm doing final step. Add them together. 20 plus 12 gives me a final answer of 32 inches squared. And that is our final answer, 32 inches squared for that problem. Let's try one that's a little bit more challenging. Okay, this last problem, I have 2 parallelograms. So I'm going to start by sectioning off using this blue dotted line. Whoa, that was a highlighted line. I'm going to start by sectioning off using this blue dotted line here, my second parallelogram. And so I can see here that I have 2 centimeters as my base of the smaller parallelogram. And so therefore I can take that 2 and I can also use it up here as 2 cm for the length of that side. Now if I'm trying to find my entire length, I could take 4 centimeters plus 2 centimeters, and I have 6 centimeters for the entire length. So I just did 4 plus 2, and I got 6 centimeters. Now I can see that I have a 5 centimeter over here on the left, and on my right, my entire length is 11 centimeters. But I just need to find this section here. I'm going to write it in green, just that section. So in order to find that section, I'm going to take 11 minus 5. Because we know that the 5 centimeter on the left-hand side can also go on the right here. So I'm going to take 11 minus 5 and see how many centimeters I'm left over with, which was 6 centimeters there. So let's go ahead and break it up, parallelogram 1 and parallelogram 2. Okay, here's parallelogram 1. We have area equals base times height. Now our base was our entire way across, so we had to add 4 plus 2, which gave us 6 for the base, times the height, which was 5. 6 times 5 gives me 30 centimeters, and square it. So I found parallelogram number 1's area. Now I'm going to do parallelogram number 2, which is my smaller one. Same formula, area equals base times height, but this time I'm substituting in a base of 2 centimeters times my height, which I solved was 6 centimeters. 2 times 6 is 12, so my area is 12 centimeters squared. I'm not finished yet, though. I have to do my final step, and that is to add them together. So go ahead and take your 30, add 12 to it, and we find out that our entire polygon is a total of 42 centimeters squared. All right, students, this has been Module 13, Lesson 4, Area of Polygons.